I was picking her up from work like I always did. Early, because I missed her. I walked into the staff hallway of the hotel where she worked front desk. She didn't hear me come in. She was in the linen closet, legs wrapped around a man in a filthy uniform. A housekeeping guy. He still had a stained mop in one hand. She saw me. Didn't flinch. Just said, "Guess now you know." I always picked Ashley up from work. Always. It became a habit. After 2 years together, she told me it made her feel safe. Said it was cute. Said she loved that I cared enough to wait in the car for her every night. So that evening, when she texted, "Running late, we're slammed. Just wait outside," I still drove there early. She worked at the Riverbend Inn, a mid-range hotel just off the highway. She'd been at the front desk for a year. Wore a name tag tucked in her shirt like it was the most professional thing in the world. She took pride in that job. Always told me the guests loved her. I parked around back like usual. Sat there for about 10 minutes. Then I got this stupid idea in my head. I'll bring her a soda from the vending machine in the hallway. Something small. She'll like it. I walked in the back staff entrance. Knew the code. She told me months ago. The hallway was quiet. I could hear the washing machines whirring on the other side of the wall. Then I heard a sound. Not voices. Just friction. I turned the corner. The linen closet door was half open. At first I saw movement. Just shadows. Then I saw her hair. Ashley's hair. Curled, tied back. The same way she always wore it at work. She was pressed against a wall of stacked towels. Legs wrapped around a man. A man in a soaked, grimy housekeeping uniform. He still had a mop in his hand. Dirty water dripping from the end. His pants were half down. His shirt untucked. And she was smiling. Laughing, even. I froze. Couldn't breathe. She turned her head. Caught me standing in the doorway. Staring. And she didn't scream. Didn't cover herself. Didn't push him away. She just stared back. "Guess now you know," she said. The janitor looked over his shoulder, confused. "This your man?" Ashley didn't blink. "He's fine," she said. Then looked at me again. "He's always fine." My mouth opened, but nothing came out. She pulled her legs down from around him. Adjusted her shirt. Fixed her name tag. Looked me dead in the eyes. "You really thought I was staying late every night to file invoices?" I turned and walked out. Didn't say a word. Got in my car. Drove straight home. And cried the entire way. Because she didn't even lie. She didn't even pretend. She wanted me to see. I didn't sleep that night. I laid on the couch in my apartment, staring at the ceiling fan spinning above me, trying to convince myself it wasn't real. That I misread it. That it was just a mistake. But the mop water on the carpet in that closet? That wasn't a mistake. At 9:12 a.m., my phone buzzed. It was Ashley. No apology. Just, "So, you gonna sulk forever or talk like a grown-up?" I don't know why I replied, but I did. "Can we talk? In person?" She sent me her lunch break schedule. Said I could meet her in the hotel parking lot. So I did. I brought her coffee. Like an idiot. She walked out the side entrance with that same cold, collected face. Not even a flicker of shame. She got in the passenger seat and leaned back like nothing had happened. "I'm not gonna say sorry," she started, sipping her drink. "I'm not asking you to," I whispered, even though I was. She looked out the window. "You act like I committed murder." "I loved you," I said. "Still do." She rolled her eyes. "God, that's the problem." I looked over. "What?" "You love too much," she said, shrugging. "You trust too easily. It's boring." My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. "I just want to understand. Was it just that guy? Or more?" She tilted her head like she was thinking. Then smirked. "I don't know. Does it matter?" That hit me harder than anything. "It matters to me," I said quietly. She scoffed. "Of course it does. You're the kind of guy who brings flowers to a woman who's already moved on. You think love fixes everything, doesn't it?" That made her laugh. Like, really laugh. "Wow, you're even sadder than I thought." I stared out the windshield. "I just want us to be okay." She leaned in then, smirking. "You're so easy," she whispered. "That's why I kept you around. You were predictable. Safe. A little lapdog I could pat on the head after a long day." My throat closed up. She reached over. Touched my face. "You're not a bad guy, Brian. You're just not a real man." She pulled her hand away, got out of the car, and walked back into the hotel. Didn't look back. Didn't say goodbye. And I sat in that car for over an hour. I stared at the seat where she'd just sat. Still warm. Still smelled like her perfume. And yes, after everything she said, I still wanted her back. That night, I didn't cry. I wanted to. I thought I would. But nothing came out. Just silence. And in that silence, something cracked open. It wasn't strength. I wasn't strong. I was still sleeping in a hoodie that smelled like her. Still reading our old texts. Still wondering if I could have done something different. But something had changed. I didn't want her to come back anymore. I wanted her to hurt. Not physically. Not even publicly. I just wanted her to feel what I felt in that moment she looked me in the eyes and laughed. I wanted her to look in the mirror one day and realize she lost something that would never come again. I didn't know how yet, but I started watching. Quietly. She posted on social media again the next day. A picture of her standing in the hotel lobby with a fake smile, captioned, "Long shifts, but worth it. Love my job. Love my team, blue heart." The man in the background? The same janitor. Same mop cart. Just barely visible behind her, blurred out. She didn't tag him, but she didn't need to. She wanted me to see. And I did. I looked deeper. Checked every like, every comment. I found a private account that commented on almost all her posts. Hearts. Fire emojis. The username was generic, but the profile picture? His face. I tapped through. His profile was a mess. Random reposts. Videos from inside the hotel's laundry room. One video showed him sitting on a washer, grinning, saying, "This place got perks. You feel me?" I saved everything. Screenshotted every post. Every comment. Every caption. Then I started digging into the hotel itself. Public business license. Ownership details. Yelp reviews. Google comments. In one review, from 2 weeks ago, someone mentioned that the staff area smelled like mildew, and that there was a strange man in the hallway who didn't seem professional. I took a screenshot of that too. I remembered something Ashley once told me, bragging, actually. She said she sometimes let her friend use the break room microwave after hours. He didn't technically work there, she admitted, but who's gonna check? That stuck with me. Because hotels have policies. Liability. Access. And if that man, Troy, I later found his name, wasn't on payroll, and she was letting him into staff-only spaces, that could cost her job. Maybe more. That's when it clicked. I wasn't going to fight her in the comments. I wasn't going to yell in a parking lot. I was going to go where she never thought I'd go. The one place she felt completely untouchable. Her job. Because if she loved it like she said, it was the one thing I could take from her. It took me 3 days to build the email. Not because it was complicated, but because I wanted it perfect. Tight. Calm. Unemotional. The way professionals talk when they mean business. I didn't use my name. I created a new account. One that couldn't be traced. No threats. No accusations. Just a simple message. To the Riverbend and management team. I wanted to report a concern about a potential security issue involving unauthorized access to employee-only areas. There are several social media videos and public images suggesting a non-employee has been regularly using staff spaces, including the laundry room and break area, during closed hours. As a local customer who respects your business, I thought you'd want to look into it. Best. A concerned guest. I attached 3 things. A screenshot from the janitor's profile showing him inside the laundry room with a drink in hand. A video of him bragging about perks. The review mentioning a strange man in staff hallways. I reviewed it 10 times. Then hit send. And waited. Nothing happened the first day. Or the second. But by the 3rd morning, her post changed. No more work selfies. No more behind-the-scenes boomerangs from the hotel lobby. That night, she posted a generic quote. "Sometimes people try to dim your light because it blinds them." The caption? "Some people need a hobby." I knew it hit. And then, at 11:43 p.m., she texted me from a different number. "Really? This is what we're doing now?" I didn't reply. She tried again. "You've made your point. Are you happy? Want to ruin my income too?" I still didn't answer. Because she didn't know what scared her more. The fact that I hit her job? Or the fact that I wasn't gloating about it? The next morning, a mutual friend sent me a message. "Yo, is Ashley okay? I heard she got pulled into a meeting at work. Someone reported her or something. She's freaking out." I kept it cool. Just replied. "Haven't talked to her. Hope she's all right." But inside, I felt steady. Not powerful. Not proud. Just steady. For the first time since I saw her in that closet, I wasn't drowning. She was. And it was just beginning. Because now I knew something she didn't. She had everything to lose. And I had nothing left. It started with a DM. From someone I barely knew, a girl I went to high school with. Hey, is everything okay with you and Ashley? She posted something weird. I didn't think much of it. Maybe another passive-aggressive quote. Another cryptic caption. But then another message came in. And another. Each one asking the same thing. Did you really do that to her? I opened Instagram. And froze. She'd posted a carousel. First image, a black screen with white text. This is what emotional abuse looks like. And yes, it's real. Second image, a blurred photo of me, standing outside her work from behind. The same day I dropped off coffee weeks ago. Third, a screenshot of a text message. Not from me, but it looked like me. If I can't have you, no one will. Timestamped. With my name above it. I never sent it, but it looked real enough. The caption underneath? This is what happens when you stand up for yourself. When you try to leave quietly, and they won't let go. I debated posting this, but I'm tired of being scared. If you're going through something like this, you're not alone. Hashtag healing, hashtag gaslighting survivor, hashtag mystery. The comments flooded in. Stay strong, girl. He sounds dangerous. Block and report. They didn't know me, but they didn't have to. The image was enough. The timestamp was enough. The performance was enough. By noon, I got a message from my boss. Can we talk today? I already knew what it was. I sat in the conference room across from her and watched her face shift into polite concern. There's been a situation online. Someone linked it to your name. It's unofficial, but we need to ask. Is there any truth to it? I told the truth. No, absolutely not. I never said that. I never threatened her. She nodded. We believe you. But HR is monitoring this closely. Until it dies down, we're going to shift your client interactions to remote only. Just to be safe. I nodded. What else could I do? By the time I got home, I'd lost 20 followers. 3 contacts had removed me from shared projects. 1 even blocked me completely. Ashley didn't just fight back. She scorched the earth. And again, I had no proof. Nothing that would clear me in one sentence. Because she never said my name. Never posted the full number. Never crossed a legal line. Just enough to burn me alive without lighting the match in public. And as I sat alone in the dark, watching everything I'd spent years building start to crumble, I realized something. She'd made me the villain in a story I didn't even know she was writing. But what she didn't know is that I'd been watching her story too. And I'd seen everything. She tried to erase me with a few curated screenshots and half-truths. And it worked for a while. But Ashley made one critical mistake. She thought perception was stronger than proof. She forgot who I used to be before her. I work in systems, data, audit trails, timelines. I'm not flashy, but I'm patient, and I remember everything. So I started building my own file. No one would believe me without it. Not my job, not our friends, and definitely not the internet. She didn't post my name, but she tagged her own, and everything she claimed had a timeline. So I made one of my own. I began with the text screenshot she posted, the fake one where I supposedly said, "If I can't have you, no one will." I ran it through metadata tools. It didn't match my number format. More than that, it had a typo. In her screenshot, "your" was spelled "your." I never typed like that. I went back through my actual old messages to her. Found 17 examples where I used "your" correctly. Screenshotted every one. Next, I pulled camera data from the photo she posted of me from behind. The one she implied was me stalking her. It had been taken the day I dropped off coffee. I had a receipt from the coffee shop time-stamped after the photo was taken. It proved I wasn't loitering, I was arriving. Then I found something even better. In the background of that photo, a license plate. Not mine. Troy's. The same janitor she'd been sneaking around with. Parked in the employee spot reserved for managers only. He didn't work there. That was a violation. And guess what? I had proof from HR records I obtained earlier during my anonymous guest concern email. Troy was never on payroll, but his plate showed up twice in employee security logs. That meant Ashley had let an unauthorized person into restricted hotel property. That's grounds for termination, possibly even legal trouble. I compiled it all. Metadata discrepancies, photo analysis, access violations, video footage I'd quietly saved months ago of her kissing him in the parking garage. Her voice, on speaker, laughing, "Who's gonna catch me? My manager's blind and HR doesn't care." She thought that was just girl talk. But I'd recorded it back when I still thought I could forgive her. And now? It was leverage. Not for revenge. For truth. Because she made the world believe I was a threat. Now I had the power to show what kind of threat she really was. I saved the file to a flash drive. Labeled it, "If it goes further." And for the first time in weeks, I wasn't afraid of her anymore. She thought she'd buried me, but I was still breathing. And now, I was digging her hole. Ashley must have sensed it. Maybe someone told her I'd been quiet. Too quiet. Because the day after I finalized my file, the one that could dismantle her story, she escalated. And this time, she wasn't subtle. I got a call from HR at my job. Again. But this time, it wasn't just about social media. It was a formal written complaint. Anonymous. Accusing me of creating a hostile work environment. Said I made female colleagues uncomfortable. That I used manipulative behavior and passive aggression to dominate conversations. It read like a blog post. Not a complaint. Because it wasn't written for truth. It was written for effect. Every word dripping with implication. And every sentence echoed what Ashley had been pushing on her platforms. I asked for a copy. My boss hesitated, then handed it to me. There was one phrase that stuck out. He makes you feel small just by sitting there. Like he's always watching, collecting things. I froze. That wasn't a guess. That was her language. She once said it to me during a fight. You don't yell. You just sit there with those eyes, like you're collecting things. It's creepy. She'd quoted herself. This wasn't a real complaint. It was her voice, hiding behind anonymity. But it didn't matter. HR had to take it seriously. I was placed on limited duty again. And this time, they sent me to a mandatory evaluation. A third-party consultant. I sat across from a woman who smiled too much and asked too little. I'm just here to observe, she said. See how you respond under stress. And I thought, this is exactly what Ashley wanted. Not to win. To make sure I never felt safe again. That night, I got a DM. From one of our old mutual friends. Someone I hadn't spoken to since the split. He sent one line. Hey, off the record, she's spiraling. I stared at the screen. Then he sent another. She told someone you hacked her. That you're building a case against her. She said she might need to get ahead of it. And that was panic. Ashley didn't know what I had. She just felt it coming. Her stories got messier. Her captions more dramatic. She posted a photo of herself crying in bed with the words, "Truth is subjective. Pain is not. I survived worse." And suddenly, the comments were fewer. Supporters hesitated. One wrote, "I love you, but maybe take a break from posting for a bit." Another, "This doesn't feel like healing anymore." She deleted both. But I saw them. She was cracking, throwing punches in the dark, hoping to hit me before I stepped into the light. But I wasn't coming with fists. I was coming with facts. And she was almost out of places to hide. Ashley built her world like a performance. Carefully staged, perfectly filtered, monetized through pain. But even performances cost money. And she finally had something worth protecting. Her coaching brand. The one she launched after painting herself as a survivor. The Healing Mentor account. Her videos got reposted. Podcasts invited her. She sold break-free ebooks. Online group sessions. Digital affirmations for $19.99. She called it a movement. But under all that, it was still a business. And businesses leave trails. So I started digging. I found her LLC registration. Filed under a new name, but linked to her personal tax ID. I found client reviews, receipts, calendar links, even documents she'd emailed to clients. One in particular stood out. A PDF trauma workbook with advice on emotional trauma from partners who stalk, control, or manipulate. It listed Brian L. as an example case study. That was my name. Not full, but enough. It wasn't just shady. It was defamatory. I sent the PDF to my attorney. He read it and said just 2 words. This qualifies. Then we went further. We pulled her merchant records through a public financial gateway. She'd listed herself as a certified trauma specialist on invoices. There was just one problem. She wasn't certified. Anywhere. Not by the state. Not by any accredited mental health board. Not even a 2-day workshop. She had no credentials. And that was fraud. She was charging people for services she wasn't legally allowed to provide. We compiled it all into a dossier. False certifications. Defamation examples. Recorded client quotes from forums. Screenshots of her charging for coaching therapy. The quote about me in her workbook. We didn't send it to her. We sent it to 3 places. 1. The payment processor handling her store. 2. Her email marketing platform, which bans fraudulent claims. 3. and the State Department of Consumer Protection. It wasn't dramatic. It was legal. By the end of the week, her store link returned a 404 error. Her ebook platform suspended her account, pending investigation. And the biggest hit? Her payment processor froze her payouts. Every cent she made was now locked in a compliance audit. She posted nothing for 2 days. Then, one night, she went live. Dark room. Hood up. Eyes puffy. I just want to say I'm taking a break. Some things have come up that I need to deal with. And, not everyone's who they seem. Her voice cracked. No filter. No script. But the comments? Weren't sympathy anymore. They were confusion. Skepticism. One even said, "You built your whole brand off being honest." Was it? She ended the stream early. And for the first time since she turned my life into a villain story, I watched her narrative unravel. Not because I shouted. Not because I fought. But because I let the truth walk in on its own. I thought it was over. She went quiet for a few days after her payment processor froze her funds. Her coaching site went down. Her platform partners dropped her one by one. The house of cards I nudged had started to fall. But then, just like every time before, she came back. And stronger than ever. She posted a photo from a beach. Clean. Sunny. Radiant. Smiling like nothing had happened. The caption? Storms pass. Truth floats. Thank you to everyone who stayed. And people believed her. They didn't care about the freeze. Or the missing certifications. Or the defamation complaints. They just needed a new version of the same lie. And she gave it to them. She claimed her payment processor issue was an attack from a former toxic partner. Said the complaints were fabricated. Said she was legally cleared. She even posted a screenshot of an email from her attorney that read, "All complaints dismissed. Your account is restored." It looked official. It wasn't. I knew that formatting. That wording. It wasn't from a lawyer. It was a Canva template dressed up like legal clearance. But it didn't matter. It worked. People flooded back. More followers. More shares. She did a podcast 2 days later titled, "How I Survived a Cyber War with My Abuser." She didn't name me. But the timeline? The language? It was all me. And I watched the comments roll in like punches to the ribs. Thank you for your strength. You're a light in this world. You give me hope. She was back on top. And I was invisible again. Even my own lawyer sighed when I showed him. Technically, she hasn't broken a new law. She's walking the line. It's sleazy, but not actionable. I nodded. Because I knew what was coming. And she didn't. See, Ashley's strength was always in playing the victim. But her weakness? She didn't realize people watch. People she didn't even know. One of her old clients messaged me that night. A burner account. No name. Just this. She used a story I told her in my session. In that podcast. Word for word. She didn't ask me. She didn't even change names. Just took it. Attached was a voice clip from the podcast. And a screenshot of a private email exchange from months earlier. The same words. Same phrases. Stolen. Used. Monetized. And now? That's actionable. Because Ashley didn't just fake a brand. She used someone else's trauma to fuel it. Without permission. And that was no longer a lie she could hide behind hashtags. That was exploitation. Real. Provable. Recorded. And she had no idea I had it. Yet, I stared at the screen for almost an hour. The voice recording. The email. Side by side. Word for word. Ashley had stolen someone else's trauma. Used it in a podcast to sell herself as a survivor. She didn't change the details. Didn't ask for permission. She just took it. And now, I had it all. Not speculation. Not social media games. But real proof of exploitation. I sent the file to my lawyer. He called me within minutes. "This is it," he said. "This is what gets her license revoked, her sponsors stripped, her credibility erased. She won't just be embarrassed, she'll be done." He offered to file everything. Said we could push it through the system within 48 hours. That it would hit everywhere. Legal forums. Regulatory boards. Podcast networks. Even the victims' rights groups she loved to align with. I thanked him. Told him I'd call back tomorrow with the final go-ahead. But I didn't sleep that night. Not out of guilt. Out of clarity. I wasn't angry anymore. I was just done. Done chasing justice like it would fix something. Done trying to prove to strangers that I was the one telling the truth. I just wanted to end it. Then, early the next morning, she knocked. Not texted. Not called. Knocked. I opened the door. She looked nothing like the girl from the beach photos. No filter. No armor. Just sweatpants, hollow eyes, trembling hands. "I know you have something," she said softly. Please don't. I didn't say anything. She stepped closer. I know you think I deserve this. Maybe I do. But if you send that, my career, my name, everything I built, it's gone. She looked down. I'll never work again. No one will believe me. Not even for the truth. She pulled out a folder. Papers inside. Signed withdrawal from the coaching registry. Formal retraction letter addressed to 3 platforms. Apology. Unlisted YouTube link with a private video where she admitted to everything she faked, timelines, quotes, lies. I'll send them, she whispered. All of them. I'll do it myself. Just don't go nuclear. I know what you have. She sank to her knees. I'm not asking for forgiveness, she said. I'm asking for mercy. I looked down at her. The girl who smiled at me while tangled with a janitor in a linen closet. The girl who made the world believe I was a predator. The girl who built a business on a lie, then tried to burn me alive to keep it. I looked at her, and I saw nothing. No power. No persona. No mask. Just a person. Broken. I stepped inside. Took out the flash drive. Deleted the folder. Emptied the trash. Gone. She watched me do it. Tears rolling. She whispered, "Why?" I looked at her. "Because I'm not you." She stood slowly. Nodded. Then turned and left. No hug. No apology. Just silence. I closed the door behind her. Locked it. And finally sat down. For the first time in months. I felt peace. Not victory. Not revenge. Just quiet. And as I looked out the window at the rising sun, I said out loud, "What would you do in my place?"